Good morning, everyone. It's 10 o'clock now. I think this is a good time to get started. My name is Vivian Timian. I'm the general manager here at Saddlebrook One. And to my left over here is John Reed, and he's going to be doing most of the talking in this presentation, but I get a chance to do all the introductions and just kind of explain a few things to folks before we get started. The one thing I did want to tell you is if you're unable to see a screen, we set up another screen in the Agave bar. You can sit over there. Those chairs are really comfortable. I can attest to them myself. I've been in the bar several times, and they're really comfortable to sit and watch the television. And it's a nice big screen TV, so if you want to move over there, that's fine too. This is, and I've already introduced John, but I wanted to kind of point out a few other staff members that are in the house today. Leslie's taking care of all the video for us, so she's going to be monitoring the slideshow. TJ Ward is back there. He's our audio tech. And I can see Mike Roddy in the back. He's obviously the director of golf and doing a great job. The golf courses are going well. Mike, where's the rain you promised us? Yeah. Okay, and Chris Albers is back there as well. Our patrol manager, Carolyn Butler, is there, Tricia Rogers, and Brianna Reed is a new member of our team. She's going to be the new webmaster. We are moving over to a new club systems in 2026 called North Star, and she's going to be developing that system for us from a website standpoint. She's going to develop a very friendly website, very user-friendly, a little bit better than what we have today, so we're excited to welcome Brianna in. And Brianna's going to help direct people when they have questions at the end of this presentation. She's going to tell you to line up along the side, or you can line up in the middle here to use this first microphone. Let's see, this is videotaped so that the residents that aren't here will have an opportunity to hear about the project, because this is an important project for us. It is one of the largest projects we've done in the last 15 years. And also, at 11 a.m. this morning, people that are signed up for the Saddlebrook emails from Saddlebrook One will receive an email indicating what type of comments do you have on the new building potential and what do you think. And so we're interested in getting your comments out from there. If you're not signed up for our email, you can simply go to comments@saddlebrook.org and send us the information. But the importance of the comments is basically what's happening is we are going to be taking this to the board at the end of the month, but we want your comments so that we can tell the board exactly what you think. And so they'll have a better opportunity to have more information to know whether or not to allow this project to go forward at whatever cost. And I do want to recognize the board members I have in the house today. Steve Balakwa is here. Steve is our vice president. Joe O'Connor is here, the treasurer. Kathleen Satoris is up here in the front row. Len Alcantara is way in the back. Thanks for your support, Len. And Marty O'Shea is wandering around here someplace. Marty is also in the back. Okay, so he's here. And did I get all the board members that are here? I'm sorry, Donna Gruninger's here, and Mike Odell, who is our ALC chair, is also in the house. So we appreciate all the board members taking their time out to come to this. It's important that we get this information out to as many people as we can. So thank you for attending. Before I go too much further, how many people here are from HOA 1? There you go. That's good. HOA 2 residents in the house. We have a few of those as well, so that's good too. We welcome you to HOA 1. We are going to be taking comments at the end of this, and that will be videotaped and audio taped for this when we present it. We do have a 2-minute warning on the clock, and it's only because we just don't want to have everybody here all day long. I know you all want to get back out in that hot heat, and so we'll get you out of here probably in about an hour, hour and a half. So we want to make sure that we answer as many of your questions that you have. We don't want to rush this too much, but at the same point in time, we don't want to drag it on. Let's go to the next slide, if you would. So we do ask that you place the cell phones on vibrant or silent. The restroom locations, since you're all a lot of you are from HOA 1, they are over to the right in an alcove back there. We do ask that you hold all questions until the question and answer period. And again, we ask that you respect each resident's opportunity to see and hear. And again, there will be a 2-minute time frame on comments at the end of this. Let's see. So can you go to the next slide for me? I want to give you a little bit of background on this building. It was actually, our arts and crafts facility was built in 1990. It is not ADA compliant because ADA didn't come out until 1998. So it does not meet those requirements. Over the last 15 years, we've put quite a bit of money into golf, a lot of money into tennis. We put in all post-tension concrete courts. We redid the activity center in 2010. The fitness center was expanded in 2010. The Catalina Recreation Center was expanded in about 2015. And the bocce ball courts were done last year. And the clubhouse, we've done some remodeling in the clubhouse over the last few years. So we've improved the sound system that I'm using today. So thank you very much, John. I appreciate that. Obviously we're keeping up with like the automatic doors and the automatic blinds, the carpeting, and just making certain that we're trying to keep everything in excellent shape for you. Right now, in the world of active adult communities, the number one thing is fitness. And fitness is important because it maintains that quality of life for everyone. And we want to maintain that quality of life so you can stay in your home longer and you can enjoy a better quality of life. Well, underneath that fitness umbrella, the number one thing that's really hot today is group fitness. And I don't know that it's hot today, it's been hot for the last 10 years. It cooled down a bit over COVID because people didn't want to be in the same room with one another. But that's opened up, and right now, today, our biggest problem in Saddlebrook, and I'm not talking Saddlebrook 1, I'm talking our whole community, is that if you want to join a fitness class, HOA 2 has fitness classes, we have fitness classes, but they fill up very quickly. So the need for more group fitness areas was noted quite a while ago in several surveys. And that's what really drove this project to where we're at today. We've got about a 400 square foot group fitness area today in the fitness area. In the arts and crafts area, we're going to be adding, whether it's 2-story, 1-story, or whatever, we're going to be adding 2,200 square feet. And that's what is really required, I think, from our residents. Our residents have been asking this for years to expand that space so they can get into those group fitness classes, so they can keep their health to the point where they can maintain their homes and stay in their homes longer. So that group fitness area is probably the key area on this whole project. So our meeting objectives today are to present the final plan for the remodel and expansion of the Creative Arts and Wellness Center. And it is a misnomer, it's not just arts and crafts, it also has that element of fitness involved as well. To respond to suggestions from the first town hall, I will tell you, we had the first town hall over at HOA 2, and the number one thing was we want bigger. So John and the team from Properties and Roads all went back to the architects and they made it bigger. Not only looking at several different approaches to this, so you're going to see those today. And so then the question is, well, what's the timing and the cost and the funding for the plan for the project and estimated time for completion? And John's going to go through those limits with you. But again, I welcome you to Saddlebrook 1, and I'm going to turn it over to John Reed now, and he's going to talk all about the Creative Arts and Wellness Center. We're not going anyplace, so you have any questions about money, that's the main reason I'm here. So come on up.
Well, hello, I am John Reed. I'm your Director of Operations here at Saddlebrook 1. Thank you all for coming. I do appreciate the turnout. Also a big thanks to the Board of Directors and Vivian for instilling the confidence in the Property and Roads and myself to transform the existing Arts and Crafts building into the Creative Arts and Wellness Center. Also, most of you know that all the committees in the HOA are comprised of volunteers. Emphasis on volunteers, all of them, to include the Property and Roads Committee. There's a few, that individual group has been steadfast in supporting myself on weekly basis, meetings, sacrificing probably choice tea times, maybe even a few happy hours to attend the meetings and putting up with myself. And those gentlemen and ladies that were a part of that are Tim Mahana, Larry White, Don Aratola, Brian Ripley, David Lohendorf, Bob Collier, Tom Adkins, and Russell Weems have all been on the sidelines of this year making this happen. And I appreciate their support, I really do. This is all a team effort, and it's been really well having them a part of this. A lot of knowledge there, and they definitely let us know that, and they express that desire. We will also recognize many others as we go on here as well too. We'll talk about the meeting objectives. To present the final plan for remodel and expansion of the Creative Arts and Wellness Center, to respond to suggestions from the first town hall we had a few months ago, to present the cost and funding plan for the project and estimated timing for completion. Let's go on to the next slide. The purpose of the project: to provide the proper space necessary for existing clubs, fitness programs, and additional meeting space. We'll go on to the space here in depth here in a little bit. To enlarge and update the existing gift shop, to place a patrol in a more visible location for the community, and to establish the Arts and Crafts Wellness Center as an amenity that is competitive with all other active adult communities. Oops, wrong page here. Next slide. Oop. Yeah. Here's a good rendering of what we come up with, and it is a rendering. Kind of point out a few areas here to the front left there. That's the pro shop, the patrol shop, and to the right is where the existing fiber arts location is at as well. We'll go on in depth in some other areas here in a bit. Next slide. Why this approach? The need has been identified in every resident survey since 2014. Since I've been here, I got here in 2019, this is what I've been hearing about, is renovating this building and making it more useful for the residents to use. It is definitely resident driven and fulfills the need for existing groups and future technologies. We've had countless meetings with all the different groups that utilize this space, and they provided their input as what they need, how they want it designed, and trying to get all that incorporated with them, and they're all very involved with making this happen. It provides room for growth in current future clubs and all activities. It can be completed and operated within the current county parking approvals. As you recall, back like last December, the county gave us I guess I call it a Christmas present. They allowed us to use our existing parking variance to build this building as long as we stayed within a certain square footage amount. Which includes all our golf cart spaces and the concurrent use concept. What concurrent use meant was a resident to come here, utilize the fitness center, leave the car here, come over to the clubhouse and have breakfast, wherever the case may be, and then maybe go over back to the Arts and Crafts facility. It also can be paid for with current resources without requiring an assessment from the resident. I think that's probably number one thing there. The community has been saving for this, so they pretty much have already committed to doing something in the community and actually making this happen. They've already invested the money. The Finance Committee has invested the money, made some good interest on it, and now it's time to make it worthwhile and give you guys something back with that. Oops, I got the wrong slide here. Next slide, please. Recent activities. All input from the previous town hall was evaluated and incorporated where appropriate. Requested more space. We're definitely going to talk about the space in depth. We took two approaches to this, and we're going to talk about those as well. All participating groups were involved in the courtyard design. The courtyard has a direct purpose for the arts and crafts to display all the arts and crafts work in general for all the different units there, and also other activities as well. All groups provided input regarding the space. Again, we had countless meetings with fiber arts, pottery, dance, fitness, the gift shop, patrol, and just getting all the information we could from them to give them back what they're looking for. Next slide. There are two approaches. Next slide. This is probably the key slide right here. Is our design, current design. It looks pretty close to this right here. The Fiber Arts is going to be 2,100 square feet. Currently, they only have 900 square feet. So we're almost tripling the space that they're going to have in that area. And the Fiber Arts is on the top left-hand corner. You see it labeled there. The fitness and dance. This is an additional space to what you currently already have. We got the space inside the fitness center, but this space is going to be 2,451 square feet. That space is as big as this dance floor here and bigger. So that's how much space you're going to have for dancing and fitness and whatever else we want to use it for. So another one of these spaces plus more, in addition to what you already have. The pottery, 3,184, is necessary because they have a lot of infrastructure that has to make that space operational and functional and safe. They have to be able to safely do what they need to do. I relate it to like a production line. There's a lot of things happening there to make things production, to make pottery, make it work, and make it accurate. Right now they have very limited space. They're limited on their members, and this will allow them to grow and allow some of y'all to participate in those activities as well. That infrastructure is definitely needed. Technical Arts, 1,000 square foot. That is about as big as either one of the north or south Coyote rooms. This entire multi-purpose space that's going to be utilized for computer classes, you name it, photograph groups, whatever you want to use it for. It's about as big as the Coyote north or south, one of those two spaces there, and it's going to have some Murphy tables in it. They're going to fold down or fold up, however you want to use them, and use it for small groups of fitness if you wanted to. But it's also going to be designed for technical arts, audiovisual capabilities. The gift shop, doubling in size. I think we need that because they're going to be making more products to showcase inside that space to be able to utilize that space. And I know every real estate agent here that comes by my office, one of their first stops is to the gift shop to show future residents what they're getting for their bang for their buck when they buy into Saddlebrook One, and they stop right there at the gift shop. And I think it's very important that we are able to show more products that are made there. The patrol, definitely important to have the patrol up front and center. I know they do a lot of permitting, a lot of questions, and just for safety purposes and just for accessibility, to have them there for you to contact them whenever need be. And right now they're kind of tucked away in the back there, kind of feeling like they're off the beaten path there a little bit. Here they'll be right there for you, right there. If you're in the fitness center and you remember after you got done doing your workout, hey, you got to get a permit for your RV or whatever, they're right there for you. Restrooms, more than twice as big. Plenty of restroom space, definitely upgraded. It's going to be very similar to what we have down in the pro shop main bathrooms down there with some tile wainscoting, nice fixtures, nice setup down there. Utility rooms. The current facility doesn't have any type of utility rooms whatsoever for janitorial services. During COVID, we struggled to be able to keep that place sanitized and clean. With utility closets and space to be able to provide the materials we need there at hand, it's going to be more efficient. It's going to make it run a lot smoother. The courtyard, again, multi-purpose. Definitely a lot of space there to showcase whatever is made by the different groups that are there. Or if you're walking through that area to go down to the activity center, you'll be able to walk down through. That's going to be the new path to get down to the activity center, is walking right through this complex, and you'll be able to see whatever's in their windows, their case windows there, that are going to be facing into the courtyard. 10,000 square feet total. Right now it's only about 3,600 square feet. Yeah, so total square feet with the courtyard, 12,400 square feet. Pretty large complex. Next slide. We can always come back to that slide, but we'll come to here. Currently, $4.8 million. is what this building would cost us. That would be all construction. Of course, up until this point, the board of directors has already approved approximately $200,000 for schematic design, construction drawings, for both phase 1 and phase 2. We also did, we'll talk more about the other part of this here. We did some schematic designs for the wood shop. And so we spent probably roughly about $200,000 getting to this point. But that $4 million is to build this building, and additional furniture, fixtures, equipment, $800,000. That is a big number only because we're doing a lot of the work on the furnitures and fixtures internally to save money. A lot of the IT equipment, the security, the RFIDs and things like that, that's all going to be purchased, the hardware we purchased, but my guys, since we have the skill sets internally to do this, install a lot of equipment ourselves and save a lot of money. Next slide. The two-story, one of the comments during the original, the first town hall was to go two-story. So we reached out to our architect and said, hey, what would it take to do a two-story building in the same space? You know, just go vertical with it. And he said, well, okay, well, you're going to have a lot of different costs involved. Zoning reviews, engineering design cost, revised parking site plan, elevators, fire-rated stairwells, enlarged foundation retaining walls, and those are really realistically the smaller costs that's involved in going two-story. Next slide. Moving forward to the two-story concept, additional cost per square foot, $425 per square foot. And this is based on what we have currently with our current design, what that square footage costs, and to go vertical with the understanding that the second story wouldn't require a foundation, but you still got to engineer it to hold this second story, but you also got to have the stairwells, all the infrastructure, and that's not including any type of FF&E that's going to house that second story as well. That's just the construction of that second floor. Additional parking structure with an elevator. That's a very conservative number because typically parking structures are anywhere from $15,000 to $20,000 per space when you start going vertical. And if you start putting just vision a two-story concrete structure in the middle of your parking lot, right in direct view of all the villas, I just don't know that would be the good option to take there, to put a big parking garage in the middle of the parking lot, blocking a whole lot of people's views, which wouldn't really be aesthetically pleasing either, having a big parking structure at the front door of several activity venues. You walk out the front door and you see this big concrete structure. Total cost of the second floor concept, $4.8 million, which includes the concept we have now, plus additional $6 million, which I believe is very conservative because of the cost of construction nowadays. Total of $10.8 million to go two-story, which is not in the budget at this point. Next slide. Another idea that brought up during the first town hall was the woodworking shop. We did do, our task force toured several wood shops throughout the Tucson area. We went there to determine the dynamics and the infrastructure and how they manage it, what the ins and outs as far as safety, liability of a wood shop. Several of the task force went out to see these different shops, just asking questions, how they operate it, and things that would have to be manned. And there's some liability challenges there we'd have to overcome. But we did look at that. We looked hard at it, and we captured all that information. The initial concept package was developed with an estimated cost of $2.1 million for a building shell. That's just a 3,000 square foot building. That has no bearing on parking, site planning, acoustical values that we got incorporated in there, dust collection, electrical. When we got to electrical, Pinal County says I cannot get three-phase power. Three-phase power is required for most good woodworking equipment, and we cannot get three-phase power out there from our current with Trico. So we'd have to definitely downsize a lot of the equipment in there to only take single phase. So we was not able to get three-phase out there. But we did a lot of development and R&D, I guess, to determine what it would take. The woodworking shop would be a change of use of common area, which requires approval by the majority of Saddlebrook 1 residents, which I believe is a survey, if I'm not mistaken. A woodworking shop could be considered a potential future project, however. Next slide. Recommendations. The Property and Roads Committee and Management recommends their approach, the first approach of a total of $4.8 million. This approach addresses the needs identified by the participating groups. This cost falls within the proposed 2026 budget. Next slide. Next steps. Of course, we take the presentations to the board end of this month, I believe on the 28th, to present our costs and our bids. We did get 5 bids from general contractors, and we're looking at 2 of them really hard right now. We haven't made a selection yet. We're just looking at them real hard. They're really close, those 2 we selected. We've used one of them before for the Roadrunner Grill, so we have a good relationship with them. The other one came in strong with a good presentation, and their numbers look pretty good. But that's what we would take to the board. And then we'd also, once the board approves it, we would select a contractor, probably one of those 2. And once they approve, we'd also go to a county permitting submittal. I suspect that submittal and approval probably would take anywhere from 3 to 4 months, bearing any major challenges from the county, which I don't anticipate, but it's probably take 3 to 4 months to get a permit for this building. Anticipated construction, March 26 to November 26 next year, which would obviously require a whole lot of front-end pre-demolition meetings, again with the same groups, to determine how we're going to dismantle their existing operations or make some temporary means of doing so. But those are discussions we would have to have with those groups to make that happen, which is very doable. Next slide. I think this is a pretty good slide. If you're standing basically on the bottom of this picture, the fiber arch is to your back, and then to the left is where you'd enter in from the parking lot. Looking forward, you're walking down to the activity center, and you have the technical arts on the left and the pottery on the right, and way on the right there, that's the entrance to the fitness room, the fitness and dance area. Of course, you see the overhead pergola that provides a little bit of shade in that area as well, which I think is important. Next slide. This is the information that Vivian mentioned about, as far as I think an email went out Friday or yesterday? Going out today. And if you have an account with Saddlebrook One, regardless of what HOA you're in, you'll have that email, and you can provide input back, feedback, and anything we don't answer today, we'll obviously either expand on or provide you some feedback on any questions you may have on that email. Worked really well for us during the Comcast project, and I think it's a good use of a tool to be able to get information back and forth and collaborate collectively. There's a date there, set through 4 p.m. on Thursday, August 21st. So if you're going to provide some questions or whatever, please do so by then. Next page. Questions. I know there's lots of them. I ask that you come up to the mic, maybe say your lot and unit number and your name, and then we go from there.
Fran Berman, Unit 5,
Sorry.
Lot 28.
Can he go first, please? Can he go first? All right, up front here.
I was up here first.
Huh?
Thank you.
Can she go first? Yeah, all right, go ahead.
Fran Berman, Unit 5, Lot 28. As someone who works out 4 to 5 times a week in fitness classes at HOA 2, I suggest rearranging the layout so that the fitness classroom is closest to the current fitness center and then connect it to the men's and women's locker rooms so that we have direct access. Right now, it is as far away on that pad as possible, and we have to go outside and all the way around. Also, that allows us to come in and use the lockers, the showers, all of the amenities there, and go directly into the main part of the fitness center and use the machines. What about equipment storage in that fitness room? It shrinks the available floor space if you have to add storage. Okay, expand the gift shop to include a very often requested amenity, an ice cream / pastry shop. You talk about a 2-story garage blocking the villas. I suggested many years ago in the Long Range Planning Committee that such a garage be put where the bocce ball courts are, all the way down where it slopes down towards homes that would not be impacted. Also, the woodworking shop potential future, where? And finally, I suggest more shade for the courtyard. Thank you.
I can't hear a lot of that. Yeah. TJ, need to turn the sound out. I could barely hear what she was saying.
The last comment.
Yep.
Last comment was that she asked about was, oh yeah, where's the woodworking shop going to go if we build it?
Well, there was only one proposed area at this point was down by the CRC, and that was just that was our schematic design to see the basic conceptual design, the proof of concept kind of thing, where it could go. But there's a lot of questions and answers we got to develop there as far as parking, what we're going to do with the golf course area there, because the golf course would have to change quite a bit, and sound. There's a lot of residents there of HOA2 that would be affected by any kind of sound. We had to do some acoustical studies in there. Not to say that's where it would go, but that's where we did the initial study at. Was down by the CRC.
Let's go after her first comment. She was asking about moving the fitness area closer to the fitness center so that they don't have to walk so far, actually connecting it to the men's and women's locker room.
I guess, in my perspective, it's a fitness area. You're dancing, you're doing exercise, you're walking there, and when you're done there, to walk 20 yards to the fitness center to utilize the fitness area, I just don't understand why that's a need to have a...
Look at me, I'm 75 years old. I work out several times a week. I don't know about you, but I want my fitness classroom to be right at the locker room. So I don't want to have to go all the way out in the heat and the sun, or the rain, or the snow, or the cold, or the wind. I have that at HOA 2.
Right.
I would like something like that for all the dues that I've been paying for 16 years.
Okay. Okay. And I think that we did look at that actually originally, but what happens is we lose square footage because now we would lose the massage rooms over there because basically you have to create a hallway from the men's and women's area to get into that, and that would destroy the massage area. So we have looked at that as a possibility, and for the reasons that John cited as well as myself, that's where we're at today.
And there's also a considerable, believe it or not, there's a considerable elevation change between the fitness center height and the actual arts and crafts area. So there had to be some steps and railing and things like that there in that causeway or hallway action going on, which is very possible, obviously, but there is an elevation challenge there.
Okay.
As far as the storage, I think it was one of your questions, as far as the storage of the equipment in the dance area, we are planning for the overhead above the mirrors. There's mirrors on the 3 walls.
And that's a storage area. You bet. It's kind of clear, but you can borrow it. There you go.
Obviously, there's going to be mirrors on these walls and the ballet bars. Hope I'm talking loud enough for everybody. But there's also those racks that you see that they're hanging in the fitness center now, where we put the balls and the fitness equipment on there, are going to be up high, so you can actually store stuff there. And there's also this closet back here that's going to house all the sound system and also storage, like kind of like we have in the fitness center now, to put storage. As far as there's not going to be any, there's not programmed for any equipment in that area, because the equipment itself, the treadmills and things like that, are in the main fitness center. This is additional.
Right. No. Yeah, and that's what that storage room is for.
Yeah, storage room and that racking system on top. I'm not sure what other questions she had.
I think
honestly.
that's basically it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Okay, well, thank you for the presentation, first of all. I'm confused on what the fiber arts...
Can you talk a little closer?
I'm confused about what the fiber arts center is. And second, what kind of downtime for the different uses, like fitness and pottery, as they go through this construction process?
That's a great question.
As far as downtime, as far as what they're going to utilize in the meantime? Yeah. Well, the dance area in that area, unfortunately, is very limited. It's just that one small room that they use that has a raised floor. The cloggers use that space. And as far as in the meantime, there's other spaces in the building. We've done a lot of utilization studies in this building here, as far as utilizing the coyote rooms, the bobcat, javelina room. Granted, they're not inducive for fitness type activities, but we really did a useful use study on those spaces, and they're really only being used about 40% of the time. And that time study was only done from 8 o'clock in the morning to 9 o'clock at night. Now, the time frame that those groups want to use it, they may not be open at that time frame, but there is a lot of time frames in that area. Those areas could be temporarily used while this building is being improved and expanded.
He asked about what fiber arts is too. Can you define that a little bit for me?
Fiber arts is a good question. There's a lot of stuff in fiber arts. There's probably, I think last my count, 16 different groups that utilize that space for anywhere from scrapbooking to knitting to sewing to embroidery, sewing of all kinds. There's a lot of different groups in that area that utilize that space, and that's why that's got wall-to-wall millwork or case goods on the walls for storage, because one of their challenges in that space is they don't have the storage space for a lot of their crafting materials, and they're bringing it in from home. Their sewing machines and stuff is designing this building so they have all that storage space to put that stuff in, so when those groups do use it, it's right there ready available. That can't be all the questions.
Along the same lines, the storage space for the fiber arts, we understand the cupboards clear around the walls, but we asked for a closet because we have a lot of freestanding stuff. The lights, actually the poker tables, the ironing boards, and so the extra chairs. That's what clutters up our room, and we really needed a storage closet in addition to the storage cupboards.
Sure. And there is one storage area. Oops.
Can you go back?
Let me go back to our. Yeah, this storage closet right here, I know it's not very big. And then also, this space right over here is designed as a bathroom. We're hoping that Pinell County doesn't require us to have that third bathroom in there. So we're going to use that as a storage closet as well. And these cabinets here are.
Go ahead. She can't hear you.
You can't hear me or what?
We don't agree.
Huh?
Oh, they don't agree?
Oh.
I think she said that makes no sense. Just saying.
Okay.
Okay.
So you're saying you need more closet space in that area to put ironing board and things like that there. Okay. Yeah. All right. Any other questions?
Good afternoon. Harry Ford, Unit 21, Lot 2. I provided a lot of comments on this project and done a lot of research, including for the July 31st board meeting. If you want a copy of my research, you can email me at harryfordmanbch@aol.com. In my opinion, this project is not the highest and best use of CIF funds and provide the most value. I provided priority information on national surveys, the 2022 homeowner survey, and other priorities which were 435% higher as far as votes than this project. Saddlebrook 1 is late with the facilities master plan. Saddlebrook 2 did one. Instead of 2,000 square foot multi-use, they have 19,000 square foot in their plan. Saddlebrook Ranch built a 16,000 square foot creative arts center for $3 million, with inflation is $3.8 million. A proposal is 36% larger than this with more uses. In my opinion, gating the community with 1,378 votes in the 22 survey, or nearly twice this project, will provide a lot more value. My prior research said $30,000 increase in home values. And my suggestion is that this should be a $2,000 special assessment, and the money should be spent on higher priority items that provide more value.
Thank you, Harry.
Thank you, first of all, for everything that you've done. I'm Carrie Wolf, Unit 11, Lot 33. And just a quick question in the arts and crafts, or excuse me, the fiber arts. Are you going to be putting any kind of a wall? Because that's quite a large building, the growth of it, so that, you know, if you can utilize maybe perhaps more than one meeting at a time.
No, at this time, we don't have a plan. We don't have an idea to put a wall down the middle, dividing that space in half. Again, we did a utilization of that space, and as far as when that space is being utilized by small groups or any groups, there's a lot of time frame within a 7 days time period from like 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock at night, where those spaces are not currently being used as there are now. So I'm just saying that I just don't know if there's a real benefit of putting a wall down the center, because then you got to add more exit points and things like that there, when the space is really not being utilized at this point, as far as, you know, time in the space with different groups. I know there's probably prime time to use that space on certain days, but there's other time blocks that space could be utilized that's not being utilized for small groups. What I'm hearing is the small groups don't need to use that entire space. Well, I don't see why they couldn't use the entire space. They have more room to move around if they had the entire space themselves, if they had a different understanding of when they could utilize that space.
Okay, so essentially what I'm hearing, and I think that answers my question, is that the groups are not utilizing that area enough in the opinion that we will need a wall. Is that what I'm understanding? That if we kind of manage our time and our meeting dates better, then we'll be okay with just one meeting at a time in there?
Sure.
Okay, great. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's potential there for like an air wall like we have here. However, that takes up square footage in the space itself to build that type of air wall to have that temporary go across. We considered that, but you got to change the egress, what they call it in codes, to be able to exit the building properly. Go ahead, sir. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Good morning. My name is Stanley Pomerantz. Can you hand, hello?
There you go.
1, 2, 3, hello?
There you go. You're on.
Okay. Good morning. My name is Stanley Pomeranz. My wife and I live at Lot 162 in Unit 3N. I'm here to support the incredible efforts that were put on by the participants in planning this facility, and I'm excited and anxious to see it go through as smoothly as possible. I am a member of the Saddlebrook Pottery Club. When we came here 10 years ago as a new retiree, I was scared to death about what I was going to do, and from living a very active life, I didn't know what retirement was going to provide. I've been very supportive of continuing my practice in pottery as a recreational facility, and one of the reasons we selected Saddlebrook was because it did have a pottery studio and a very active group supporting it. Over the last 10 years, we have done as well as we can. The facility that has been provided to us, we're very grateful for, but since the group is growing and the work we're doing is more sophisticated than it was, we're looking forward to having a little bit more and a better facility to suit our needs. The club itself is really doing a lot more with the community. We're active participants in the HOA activities. We designed and presented a wall on Ridgeview and Idlewind, which is kind of a neat, colorful lizard, full-size climbing the wall. We've since been involved with projects with the Roadrunner grill interior, and right now we're currently working on a large mural for the outside entry wall, which will be a 8-foot Roadrunner. So that's kind of an exciting thing, and it was wonderful to participate. We also put on a pottery show last November, which was extremely well attended by most of the residents of Saddlebrook. We found a lot of enthusiasm and support, and we also were able to provide some revenue for the HOA. Right now, this project is going to be planned for this coming November, and it will be larger, and it will be in the clubhouse, the entrance and the lobby of the clubhouse, and we hope to make it even bigger and better than last year.
Okay, thank you, Stan. We appreciate your comments. We kind of ran over the 2 minutes, but we appreciate everything you've said. Thank you. Yeah, that's it.
I just wanted to say I'm really disappointed with the woodworking shop and that it's not going to go in. I understand, but I have 2 questions. You said something about change of the common use for a woodworking shop, and I'd like you to kind of expand on that. And then the second thing is, the last thing was, we may look at it in the future. I'd like to see something a little more concrete as to an evaluation, a plan to evaluate whether there's enough support in this community for a woodworking shop. I really believe there is, and I think, maybe we need to get that in front of the residents to see if there's enough support.
Right.
I agree. I totally agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah, the change of use is basically a CCNR, it's in our CCNRs, so that if we take landscaping space and suddenly put a building on it, that's common area right now, then we need to go out for a vote with the community that supports that. And in the case of the woodworking shop, we looked very deeply at the golf course area over by the CRC, and basically what we would do is shift the golf course and then place the building. I mean, that's basically what the plans were coming back from the architect. So that would require a vote. In terms of the support of the community, we do intend to go out for a survey next year on the, from the residents so that we can get a better clue of where we're going in the future. And that will definitely be a part of it. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Sandy Rosen, Unit 3 South. I just want to thank the board for considering this project. I hope you know, with your continued support, how much this means to us. Research has shown how important any kind of the arts is to mental and physical health, so it's really important. As it is now in pottery, we're working shoulder to shoulder. If somebody's trying to get by you behind, you have to move around and scooch. And we are not ADL compliant. We did have somebody a year or two ago who had a problem, who tried, and it just didn't work out for them. We want to be open to everybody in the community and bring this love of pottery and the arts to the entire community. So thank you, and we hope you'll continue with our support.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Ed Larson, Unit 18, number 94. First, I'd like to say thanks to Vivian and John and the projects and roads team for this effort. I'm sure it's been a huge effort. Residents have been requesting amenities expansion for 10 years, so it's clear this is a priority within the community. 4.8 million, that strikes me as a very reasonable cost. And it falls within our budget to cover this now, at this point in time. We're prepared to cover this cost, this construction. Is it perfect? No. It's not possible to make a design like this perfect for everyone. It never is possible. The main limitation is the size of the facility. It's limited by its location, so it cannot really get bigger, and we can't cover a second floor due to the cost. I think it's a remarkable improvement to our community amenities. I think now is the time to build this facility. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Paul Schaefer, and I'd love to tell you my lot number and all that stuff, but honestly, we just closed on our house yesterday. I have no idea. Hell, I'm still trying to figure out how to get from one street to the next, you know. In daytime, pretty good. Nighttime, we'll get there. We'll get there. But we just moved in, and we looked at different places. And certainly, I think this is awesome that you're expanding this and all that. I would say you can't make it big enough. That other places are, I'm not going to I don't want to battle between people that want to sew and woodworkers, let's all have together type thing. I'm just saying, it'll help your community. The bigger, the better. The more you do, expanding what you're doing, keeping the woodworkers in mind, it's only going to improve your community. And if it costs a little more, you'll get it back out in your home values, because you still have to attract the next people coming into Saddlebrook to keep this place as wonderful it is. It looks fabulous. It really does. Looks awesome. As I said, I'm not here to change your positions on anything. All I'm just saying is, if you build it, they will come type deal. Take
Amen.
care. Wish everybody well.
Thank you, Paul. And welcome to Saddlebrook.
I'll get my lot number next time.
Okay.
Morning, my name's Wayne Murray. John, in your numbers, does that include any kind of contingency in your 4.8?
It does.
Could you share with us how much that is?
Well, the contingency,
Go ahead.
right now we have a $350,000 contingency built into that number.
Okay, the reason I'm asking is, I think your $471 a foot is a very reasonable number. to get it built, but to include the contingency in that, I think you're kind of cutting that a little short. When you look at what was spent downstairs, that was like $650 a square foot downstairs. Now you're building 3 times the size. So I'm wondering if the 4.8 is actually going to do it.
Well, the cost per square foot was based on the proposals we got from the GCs as far as what those numbers came in on based on the square footage of the
And
our entire
his
town.
square footage number was how much that he gave you?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
His square foot number that he gave you, what was that number?
The number that the architect gave us?
Yes.
We used the number that we had from the when we had our building design, when we got our numbers in from the general contractors to build a building we have already designed. We got that square foot cost.
So you got the number from the general contractor, or you got the number from the architect?
The numbers that he's presenting right now are actually from the general contractor.
Yep.
Which we haven't picked yet.
Right, but that's all five general contractors that provided numbers.
And
So-
2 of them are right on top of each other, which align with that budgetary
Okay,
number.
so what I'm saying is, what is that square foot number that they gave you?
425 or something like that. Like right now, it's like 5 something. We reduced the number of square footage for the second story because obviously when you go vertical, you don't have.
No,
to have
your
all the
first story
concrete.
number, it comes in at 471 a square foot. That's for a 1-story building.
Right.
My curiosity is, what number did the general contractors give you per square foot? I just want to make sure the contingency's in there, and if we are actually only going to spend 4.8.
I can get you that exact number. I could tell you, but I want to be exact when I give you the number. But yes, we determined the cost of the second floor.
And I'm not talking the second floor, John.
He's
That's
only
totally
interested in
out of line.
Your first bid. That's all he wants to know.
Right. Our first bid.
Yeah, he wants to know. We have 2 contractors that they're right on top of each other, and they do follow this price tag.
I understand that. What is the number that they gave you? Was it 4.8? Is it $450 a square foot?
No, because
the total number for their construction cost?
Yes.
I think it's 3.7, something
it'd be
like
about
that.
$380 a square foot.
3.7 was
Right,
their
because
construction cost.
That does not include the FF&E, and he's broken it out.
I understand that part of it. But even with the cost of what we spent downstairs is considerably higher than the $450 a square foot that you're talking about.
Right.
And your building is a whole lot bigger.
Right.
So how do we spend less money doing that than what we spent doing this? That's my question. And my main concern is I want to make sure that we can get it done for the amount that you're saying it. Honestly, after doing this 55 years, seriously, I think your architectural cost is considerably lower than what it's actually going to cost you. But that's my own opinion.
Okay.
Okay.
Understood.
Thank you.
Yeah.
In that $4 million is the demolition cost?
Yes.
Of the existing building is all in there?
Yes, sir.
Thanks.
Any other questions? Please.
Harry Ford, I'll be very quick. I think the reason you're getting a lot of these questions is because you didn't provide a detailed cost estimate, which I, as a homeowner, would like to see. The second thing is Vivian mentioned that you're going to do a survey next year. We did a survey in 2022. Walking Paths Additional had 1,693 votes. Gated Entrance had 1,378 votes. Common Area Beautification had 1,319 votes. Pickleball courts, 1,025. Indoor pool, dog park, and Arts and Crafts Additional at 704. That's why I said we're not doing the highest and best use that we could with this money.
Okay, thanks, Harry. We'll include that in the comments to the board.
Fran Berman, Unit 5, Lot 28. Just one follow-up question for Vivian. You mentioned the massage rooms that would
Yes.
have to be eliminated in order to provide a connection.
A walkway, yes.
Okay. How many massages are actually done, and how does that outweigh all of the people who will be working out in fitness classes who will want access to and from the locker rooms?
Okay. That's a fair question. We do several massages. We have 2 massage therapists that are contractors that work with us, and the rooms are fairly busy throughout the week. And in terms of how does that outweigh, again, it's a problem of elevation, as John mentioned, and some other issues. So, I mean, you asked the question, and I wanted you to know that it wasn't lost on the design team. They did look at that possibility, but because of the other issues involved in that, they believe that that may be more difficult.
Can the massage rooms be relocated and included in the new design?
Okay, thanks. We'll look at that.
Any other questions?
Boy, I hope, that microphone is terrible.
It is.
Yeah, it really is.
Hi, Tony Muscat from Unit 8. So here's the main question. How is all of this being financed between the Reserve Replacement Fund and a Capital Improvement Fund?
Right.
So the plans are the plans. This is something that the community needs. But all of us need to know how this is being paid, okay? 6 months on that schedule, I'm going to tell you right now, that job is not going to get done in 6 months. I got 40 years in the construction management business. It's not going to happen in 6 months. But neither here nor there, how is it being paid between RIF and CIF? Thanks.
Yeah. The percentage from the CIF will be 80%. This percentage out of the replacement reserve fund will be 20%. At the end of this year, we have $3 million in the CIF. We're going to be contributing another $1.25 million next year into the CIF between home resales, as well as we're moving money from the operating account into the CIF fund. And like I think we've discussed this before, but definitely you folks have been paying into funds for this kind of typical project. So there'd be $4 million coming out of the CIF and $800,000 coming out of the replacement reserve fund. That's how the split is.
And as far as the construction schedule, all 5 general contractors were asked to give a projected construction time window to build this project. And they all were with 6 to 7, one of them had 8 months, but they were all within a pretty close time frame as far as making this happen.
Yeah, but between March and November, I think that's 8 months, isn't it?
That's 8 months, actually,
yeah,
yes, it is.
It's an 8-month project.
Yeah, that's a good question, though, because I know I think it can happen within 7, very easily. I think it depends on the contractor and how hard they're pushed and their subcontractors and whatnot. I think it definitely can be done in 7 months. The Roadrunner Grill was slotted at 7. We got it done in 6.
She's there first, Kathleen.
That's okay,
Sorry.
go ahead.
Yeah, it doesn't.
No, that's okay.
I don't want to have a fight. Yeah.
No,
okay.
and I'm no techie, but it looks like the tech arts is pretty small compared to the others. Oh, sorry, Janet Knowles, and I'm in Unit 11.
Sorry, did she say it was small?
I'm just wondering if 20 years down the road, 15 years down the road, people aren't doing as many fiber arts, or they're not doing as much pottery, and there's more techie stuff. Can the infrastructure on these different rooms be easily switched around or altered without having to go into a whole lot of design?
And that's a very good question. Yes, matter of fact, Delise and Janet and a couple others, David, has all helped out with the audio-visual concept of these rooms so they can be integrated within each other, where you could have a presentation inside the technical arts and display it in the fiber arts or the pottery or vice versa, trying to get that concept going so we can use the technology the best we can, but keeping it simplified as well at the same time, as well as the sound system that's going to go into dance and fitness, which is technically separate. But yeah, having the functionality of flexibility in those 3 spaces is definitely part of our scope to make that happen. And as far as, yes, whenever some activity is no longer being utilized, that whole fiber art space is full of storage spaces and tables that go up and down and electrical outputs from the floor, and it can be repurposed or reutilized in a lot of different ways. As right now, we try to accommodate for 16 different types of activities in that space as it is. I think if one falls off and we add another one, I don't think it's going to be very difficult to make that transition into that new activity.
Kathleen, your turn.
Is this on? Okay. So I just had a couple of questions. One, I'm very excited about this project, and I do think it's necessary, for an active adult community and the people that are coming behind us. I think that's what everybody needs to keep in mind, is that, a lot of our projects aren't for, is it perfect for the next month? It's for the future. And part of a long-range planning, I think that we need to do beyond this building. It's maybe one step ahead. But my main question is, how are you going to pick which contractor you go with? I'm concerned of what the criteria is besides, they came in at our budget. Because I'm just curious.
Well, the criteria is multi-level as far as their presentations. We obviously looked at how well their proposal was sent to us, and was it followed by the RFP that we sent them, and they followed everything we asked for. That was the first criteria, and it delivered it, obviously. Some of them did not. And so that's the starting point, and then we take their proposals and line them out. We actually have a nice matrix that Don Aratola put together, lining out every discipline side by side, and to see where one is high or one is low, and see where they're at as far as why the framing is high on this contractor, where it's low on this contractor, just for example, and trying to weigh that out and understanding, okay, who's more. We got three that are pretty similar than these two high ones, or one real low one. Those are each individual line item. We analyze it pretty in depth to determine. That's how we came down to the two good contractors that we liked their proposal and how they delivered it, what it looked like, and how it was drafted, and all the different costs and things they put in there as far as their individual costs, the taxes and construction costs and bondings and things like that. There is to see what percentages they're using on those different aspects. A lot of different figures went into play as far as determining which two to pick first. As far as the final selection of it, it's really going to be the property and roads and the subcommittee, and determining, a collective effort as far as which one we're actually going to select it. If we can, if the board approves it, we'll select probably one of those two contractors.
We had two other criteria. One of them is previous projects that they've completed, and they presented those in their presentations. And the other one, which is near and dear to my heart, financial stability.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that whoever is chosen has the resources to complete the project, and we're not going to have a problem. This project will be bonded, and we've told that to the contractors, and they've included that in their bids as well.
Okay, that's another good question. So yeah, I appreciate that, and maybe the reputation of the company, or I don't know if there's any further sort of the soft stuff in terms of if somebody else you might know has used them and that kind of thing, because I just see that as a really big determiner of quality, and also obviously right. On time, or do they just have sub workers that don't show, or that type of thing.
Sure.
So.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
No, great question. Yes, sir.
I was just going to mention that the two contractors that look interesting, we actually brought them in individually and sat down with them and chatted with them.
Yeah, we brought them in for an interview, just kind of understand some of the aspects of their proposal. Yeah, and we looked at it very, very in depth. We line by line, number by number, And the individuals themselves, they're standing in the community, and they had obviously they submitted their, I call it the Vanna White packet, where there's 20 pages of, who they are and boasting their different projects and things like that there. They both had a very good presentation in that regard, and all the different past projects, the dollar amounts they did, the delivery times, and they even provided the customers that they dealt with. And so yeah, there was a lot of information. We didn't just pick Larry Moe and Curly's construction company out there. Oh yes, and also we challenged them too to see who come up with the best value engineering concepts, and some of them didn't. They just kind of said, what, who, where? The other one, there's a few of them that did, and they come up with some good ideas, really good ideas, and we took that in consideration as how they want to develop that, how it compared to the other ones that did present their value engineering concepts. Those are a lot of different, when you say criteria, there's just a lot of things that go into play there as far as, what they do and how they do it and how they present themselves and what they can give us as far as the best bang for our buck. There's a lot of value engineering. Some of them has some acoustical ideas, some framing ideas, how to make it, more efficient and cost effective. Just for example, stucco versus EIFS. EIFS is a derivative of drive-it, which is like stucco. Most of your houses out there have stucco on it. EIFS is a different type of product that has pros and cons, as well as stucco has pros and cons, and they offered a $20,000 savings to go with one versus the other. And then, but with EIFS, it's a different texture. When it cracks, when you paint it, there's no touch-up paint. You got to paint the entire wall because it's a colored material that goes on colored, and there's just no matching that color. It has benefits in the sense that it's durable. However, it doesn't allow moisture to escape from it like regular stucco does. So there's a lot of pros and cons there. That's why the Property and Roads Committee and the subcommittee is made up of construction smart volunteers. They're volunteering their time. Again, the key word, they're volunteering their time to develop and provide their expertise on what their thoughts are. And I think that's very critical to understand that those people are volunteering their golf time to come in and talk to us.
Okay. Any other comments?
Thank you for your presentation, John, and I really appreciate the work that you guys put into it. My name is Linda Crum, and I'm representing the Fiber Arts. So I live in HOA 2, but I do use the Fabric Arts a lot. The leading question I have, and maybe you've already answered it before, but what is the leading time before we can vacate the building and then for us to store all of our equipment?
Well, the lead time, I think we could probably do, I'm just talking estimated here. I'm not trying to, don't hold me to this number. I think within 30 days prior to construction starting, we should have a good plan on what we're doing with every individual piece of equipment or item, every item in all those facilities, everything down to the trash cans, to the fixtures, what we're doing with it. Are we keeping it? Are we doing what we're doing with it, and to include the storage of all the pottery stuff that's in the pottery area, because some of that stuff has to be climatized and stored somewhere in a method, in a fashion. And yes, there's got to be a lot of discussions as how that's got to happen. I think 30 days.
Is the storage of the supplies then going to be up to the members individually rather than the HOA?
Again, that's part of the discussions we need to have with those groups and see how much of it is we're going to store and how much of it has to be climatized to store. And is somebody going to volunteer a climatized space at their house to do that with, or do we need to rent a climatized storage unit to do that? And it's really about what kind of accessibility they want to have with it during the construction process, of where they're going to be able to get access to that stuff if they need access to it during that time. There's a lot of questions that need to be discussed during that the pre-deconstruction process. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Pre-demo process.
Pre-demo. Anyone else?
Hi, my name's Sue Dishner. We've been here 3 years. I have no idea what our lot number is. My question is, was energy efficiency part of the design process so that it's more environmentally stable?
And that's a good question. Thank you for that one. Two-part answer to this here. Yes, it was considered in the way of this building. Understanding this building was built back in 1990. Anything we build today is definitely going to be more efficient from the start. And starting without any kind of true energy efficiency going forward with that there. As far as lighting, yes, all LED, it's actually code now that all lighting has to have on some type of a motion sensor on it to where it comes on and off as motion activates it. All has to be LED activated. Air conditioning, all has to be on some type of controller to where you can actually put zones in it and things like that there. Upon my arrival here, all our thermostats within the HOA, my facilities guys have remote access to all of them. To visual it and pull trending analysis to understand those thermostats and what they're doing. Even outside of this building, this has a whole separate system, but all those small buildings have its own app, if you will, that they can visualize those thermostats and monitor them. And as far as energy efficiency, we have data for the last 25 years on every building in Saddlebrook of the energy usage. And I've got it extrapolated out in this nice pivot table for the last 25 years, understanding what the increase of the kilowatt per hours cost, per square foot cost, per the building, for all 25 years of that, and understanding what that looks like. And that's how we determine what the cost of ownership, if you will, of this additional square footage of this building once it's built. And yes, we're looking roughly about $20,000 per year in additional cost of the HOA to power this building, but that's without any efficiencies built into it. Windows, insulation, different lighting, things like that there. That's just based on our current numbers, what we pay for electricity per kilowatt per square foot, and then getting that number from there. But I think it's only going to come down from that based on the efficiencies. But yes, we did incorporate a lot of efficiencies into this building. You get me on a facilities rampage, I could go for days.
Again, what are the future operating costs? How much are they going to increase? And how much are we going to increase the HOA dues to pay for the additional operating costs?
We can probably put a number together for you on that one. Any other questions?
Judy Landick, Unit 1, and I think I'm 102. I work in fiber arts, or I enjoy crafting in fiber arts, and I'm just curious, during the renovation, if any accommodation has been made for the groups that use that room to be utilized within this building or another.
I did not hear that.
Are you asking, or would we relocate fiber arts to another location?
Or allow those groups to reserve a room. You know,
oh, absolutely, because you are
you're
sanctioned clubs, and certainly we would allow you to reserve the rooms. We're trying to do most of the work during the summertime. We're going to actually start on March 1st, so we realize we are in the middle of the season to say, and well, we're towards the end of the season, but in June through September, really our rooms are not utilized to the 100% here in the clubhouse, and those will be available to the clubs if they want to reserve those rooms for meetings or whatever.
Is there a way to do that, like every Monday afternoon at 1, you can have the room for 3 hours, or how do you see what times are available so your group can vote on them?
Excellent question. We currently have a touch screen in the lobby at the front desk there that's currently being utilized for real estate purposes and things like that there. My goal is to repurpose that monitor, hang it on the wall inside the courtyard, and putting a menu system with our help of our new marketing gal to put a software on there to where you can actually look at that screen and actually select spaces, time frames off of that screen and to reserve it. Obviously, we put in what I call the dirty dozen ones that have those spaces already reserved for regular fitness every other Wednesday or whatever the case may be, those would already be blocked out, but it would also show what's available in those spaces without having to come up and see Tricia or something like that, which you still could, but at least the availability will be up front and center to anybody walking through that space to see what space is available in that facility.
Sherry Hardesty. I'm in Unit 21, Lot 152. I know this has been brought up before about the lamps, and I think that you're a little dismissive of that because you think we don't need them with the new lighting. But those lamps are for those older ones of us who can't see very well, and they're magnifiers. So there do need to be an accommodation for those lamps.
She wants the lamps, when you do and I'm not sure what she's doing, but let's say embroidery, a lot of times it really helps if you're under those magnifying lamps that have the magnifier.
Oh, yeah, okay, yes. I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time hearing. I got hard of hearing.
That's why I'm concerned, or why we are concerned about being able to store those somewhere in that room.
The lamps themselves?
Yes.
Well, let me tell you what the concept I kind of took from all the meetings we had was the tables. Some of those tables would go automatically or would powered up and down, and then all of them would have a power strip attached to it to where you could actually plug in a lamp, a magnifier, or a combination of thereof, even a USB port attached to the table to where you could actually plug in your lamp and have it part of the table itself. And then if you wanted to take them off, and that's where we got to find that piece of hardware, if you will, that is it going to stay or does it fold off to the side? So now the whole table can be utilized. Those are the FF&E, the fixtures that we've got to locate to determine how we want to make that happen.
So you're saying that they're going to be table lamps now with magnifiers?
They're going to plug into the top of the table.
Where are they going to be when they're not in use?
Again, that's where the type of fixture that we purchase, is it going to stay fixed to it, clamp to it, part of the table itself, or is it going to just be able to fold off to the side or remove it to be able to put that lamp inside of a closet or something like that there, or in one of the 45, 50 different cabinets that are in there.
John, you might be able to answer it by telling us the size of the storage closet that will be in Fiber Arts. Because I know we talked about having room in there to have those lamps in there. So what's the size of the storage closet within Fiber Arts, that extra little section? Can
Storage
you
closet?
see it on the map?
I don't have the exact square footage on that space. I mean, I do, but not here
Wasn't
at
it
my
like
fingertips.
4 by 8 or something like that? It was a good-sized closet in that corner.
It was.
And that's where those...
That's what I'm trying to find out.
That's why I came up to try to help you. I think that solved her question.
Yeah, there's a closet in there, and for our discussions, you guys wanted to put rolls of material in there, ironing boards, lamps, things like that there inside that closet for storage.
And it's big enough.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, it
Is
looks...
that it?
Yeah.
Going once, going twice.
Thank you for attending again. You will see that email come out. If you do not get an email, just email your comments to comments@saddlebrook.org. And again, we're going to be presenting those to the board at the end of the month so they have more additional information prior to any kind of action being taken. Thank you.